There are people in this world who carry an unseen depth, a presence that cannot be measured by ordinary standards. Among them, a rare group of women embody a form of intelligence that is quiet yet powerful, hidden yet transformative. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychologist, devoted much of his work to understanding these deeper dimensions of human consciousness, and he suggested that some women carry what he called a superior feeling function. This does not mean being more emotional than others. Rather, it means having a finely tuned sensitivity that allows them to perceive authenticity, truth, and meaning in ways that ordinary perception cannot. This video explores 6 invisible marks of women who carry this kind of spiritual power. These qualities are not about performing spirituality or appearing mystical. They are deeper traits, often misunderstood, that shape the way these women experience life and influence others. Each mark carries both a gift and a burden, and together they reveal a path of wisdom, service, and inner transformation. 1. Energetic literacy. One of the first signs of such women is their ability to sense what cannot be easily explained. They walk into a room and instantly feel the atmosphere, even when everything on the surface looks normal. They may feel uneasy around someone at first meeting and later discover that their initial impression was accurate. They may notice subtle shifts in tone, body language, or silence that reveal truths others miss. Jung described this as a refined use of the feeling function, a way of navigating reality through emotional and energetic clues. This ability is sometimes called energetic literacy. Just as some people are gifted with language or mathematics, these women are gifted with perceiving invisible emotional currents. Their presence changes the atmosphere, not because of what they say, but because of what they emanate. This sensitivity is not random. Often it is inherited through generations of women who had to develop emotional radar for survival. Grandmothers and mothers who could detect danger in a husband's footsteps or sense safety in a neighbor's glance passed this gift down through their lineage. Today, it appears as a heightened awareness in daughters and granddaughters, who often find themselves overwhelmed by crowds or drained by intense social gatherings. It is both a gift and a responsibility. 2. Intuitive guidance. The second mark of these women is their strong relationship with intuition and synchronicity. Jung observed that some people have more permeable boundaries of the ego, allowing them to receive insights from the collective unconscious without losing their sense of self. Women with this gift often receive guidance through dreams, flashes of intuition, or meaningful coincidences that help them navigate life. For example, a dream about water may later align with an unexpected opportunity that feels like a natural flow. A series of repeating symbols or chance encounters may point toward a decision that needs to be made. To others, this might look magical or mysterious, but to the women experiencing it, it feels like a natural way of moving through life. This guidance is not only for themselves. Often these women find themselves in the right place at the right time to help others. They may offer exactly the words someone needs to hear without planning or effort. Their lives become aligned with synchronicity, which Jung defined as meaningful coincidence. They learn to listen for whispers and symbols in the fabric of reality, trusting that the universe communicates in subtle ways. 3. Sacred solitude. Another essential mark is the embrace of solitude. These women instinctively understand that silence and withdrawal are necessary for deep transformation. In modern culture, which prizes extroversion, constant activity, and external validation, solitude is often misunderstood as loneliness or rejection. But for these women, solitude is not absence. It is presence. It is a sacred space where inner clarity emerges. Jung spoke of individuation as a process of discovering the authentic self, and this process requires withdrawing from collective influences. Spiritually intelligent women create such spaces naturally. They may journal, meditate, create art, or simply sit quietly, allowing daily experiences to settle like sediment in water until clarity rises to the surface. In these moments, they receive insights, creativity, and even communication from deeper layers of consciousness. However, this rhythm of retreat and return often confuses those around them. Friends or family may see their need for space as coldness, when in fact it is a vital practice for preserving balance. Solitude is their laboratory for the soul, where they refine their inner wisdom before returning to the world with renewed strength. 4. Alchemy of suffering. The fourth mark is perhaps the most profound: the ability to transform personal suffering into universal wisdom. Jung described this process through what he called the transcendent function, the ability to hold opposing forces, such as joy and grief, light and shadow, until a third, higher resolution emerges. Spiritually intelligent women do not simply endure pain, they enter into it, confront it, and use it as raw material for growth. They willingly descend into their own underworld, facing the demons others spend lifetimes avoiding. In doing so, they discover treasures hidden in the depths of suffering. This process resembles ancient alchemy, where base metals were transformed into gold. Here, suffering becomes the fire through which illusions burn away, leaving behind clarity and wisdom. When such women return from these inner journeys, they do not speak of their suffering in dramatic terms or use it to gain attention. Instead, they embody the lessons quietly, offering guidance and presence to others who are struggling. Their scars become sacred inscriptions of wisdom. Their pain becomes medicine for a wounded world. This alchemical transformation is what gives them both authority and compassion. 5. Stewardship of energy and discernment. Because of their sensitivity, these women must learn to manage their energy with care. Not every situation deserves their openness, and not every conversation requires their deepest attention. They come to realize that giving too much can lead to exhaustion, so they develop boundaries to protect themselves while still offering support to others. This stewardship extends to their spiritual gifts as well. Jung warned that not every coincidence or symbol is divine guidance. Without discernment, intuition can slip into illusion, and synchronicity can become confused with fantasy. Spiritually intelligent women learn to separate true guidance from ego-driven desires. They recognize the difference between sacred timing and personal impatience. This clarity allows them to act as reliable navigators of both their own lives and the lives of others who turn to them for support. Like skilled musicians, they know when to let their gifts flow and when to rest in silence. Their restraint and discipline allow them to preserve their strength while still sharing generously. Over time, their presence becomes like a calm, steady flame rather than a wildfire that burns out too quickly. 6. Simplicity and quiet authority. The final mark of spiritually powerful women is the return to simplicity. After traveling through the complexity of suffering, projection, and paradox, they arrive at a stage where their life no longer needs to prove anything. Their gifts are no longer worn as badges of superiority, but as instruments of service. They appear ordinary to the outside world, but their presence radiates quiet authority. Jung believed that true individuation brings us back to everyday life with deeper participation. For these women, that means gardening, raising children, teaching, creating art, or running businesses with hearts attuned to unseen rhythms. Their influence is subtle but profound. A friend may find courage simply by being in their presence. A child may grow freer because they refuse to perpetuate silence. A partner may awaken because they chose authenticity over performance. In a culture obsessed with visibility, these women remind us that the unseen is just as real, just as powerful. Their influence does not come through control, but through love. They embody what it means to walk through life with grace, integrity, and depth. Their authority arises not from status or achievement, but from alignment with their authentic self, what Jung called the self, the inner axis of wholeness. The burden and the gift. Carrying such traits is not easy. To see deeply means to carry truths that others may avoid. To feel intensely means to live with both beauty and pain at greater depths. Many of these women experience loneliness, not because they are alone, but because they cannot easily share what matters most with others. Boundaries are often misinterpreted as rejection. Solitude is sometimes mistaken for isolation. Their insistence on authenticity can create friction in relationships where others prefer pretense. Yet despite these challenges, their gifts are essential. They remind us that empathy is not weakness, that intuition is not fantasy, that stillness is not laziness. They embody a wisdom that counters the speed and noise of modern life. Through their presence, they show us that meaning often arises quietly, that guidance often comes in subtle signs, and that healing often requires presence more than words.